But, hey, we got Deshae Townsend here, two-time Super Bowl champ, Pittsburgh Steelers, is joining us here tonight. And I know, Fred, I'm going to let you lead into this segment because it's one of the things you love to talk about more than anything else, the NFL lockout.
Deshae, I know, man, it's been up and down on this NFL lockout, and I had my own analysis of how this thing was going to be solved. I think it's going to be done this week. I think there's a lot of movement going on right now. But as a coach, I mean, now, let's go back as a player.
Right.
As a player, how's this thing affecting the players in the league?
Well, for me personally, I was a player's rep when I was playing, so like all of this stuff that's going on we kind of knew it was going to happen. But at this time of year, from February until July, you don't get a paycheck anyway. So it's not really affecting the players. So the only thing that it is affecting is the camaraderie with the players as far as OTAs, getting together in the off-season workouts. But, guys are going to come to camp in shape. Some guys are not going to come to camp in shape. Even if you were in the OTAs, they still wouldn't be in shape. But I think the nucleus of guys are going to be in shape. I think the players, they want to get the deal done. The owners lock the players out, but they do want to get the deal done. And as far as the owners, I think they want to get the deal done also. But, I will say my theory is that they're not going to lose that type of money.
Right.
So a deal will get done. Football will happen this year. And, the coaches, the bad part are the middlemen that kind of stuck in the limbo. We went to work with no players there, and now we're supposed to be off from June until July 27th. At the end of lockout next week, we're back at work. So,
well, as with me, as a fantasy owner, fantasy commissioner, I feel like I've got something invested in the league.
Right.
And one of the things that as regular fans, there's got to be a good relationship with players and owners.
Right.
Do you think from this lockout and the time it's taken for the lockout to be resolved, that there's going to be some friction between players and owners once it's resolved?
I don't think so. I think it is a business. A lot of people see it as the entertainment value which the game brings. But we know in any business, there's always going to be somebody wanting to raise or an owner having to do some dismissals. And, that's a part of the game that, many people overlook or sometimes players overlook. But this game is a big-time business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. And, the players have to look down the line for players that are coming up, and that's the thing that they have to take care of, not just the present player, but the player and the future of the game.
And you played the game for 12 to 14 years. How many exactly?
13.
13 years.
13.
And fortunately, you came out of the game with no major injuries. And I know it's important during this lockout that we consider the players who made a vital contribution to the game.
Right.
And what's happening with the lockout is going to benefit retired players and players.
Right.
You see all the time, you see players who have injuries that's lifelong. Is that a focus with the Players Association to take care of those players?
It is. That's always been a focal point of the NFL Players Association to have monies and funds, programs for those players to have ability to reach out and get those funds to help them with their injuries and things like that. And I think the owners are doing a great job of also now kicking into the pot.
Making it a priority.
Yeah. So I think that's always been a bargaining tip for the NFL, PA, and it's just the right thing to do. Because those guys help build the game up, and I'm not sure how much you can give them, but you have to give them something, and that's the thing that I think the Players Association and the owners are doing.
So once this thing is resolved, when we see the players and the coaches hugging and embracing and laughing, that's going to be legit. We don't need to be thinking, well, they just doing this for the fans and just show they're on the same page. You're telling us that that's a legit, that there's not going to be any animosity among this thing.
Man, everybody knows that this is a great business. It's a great game, but the business side has to take effect sometimes. Every 12, 13 years it happens. The 87 strike, the new agreement they agreed to in 2006, and now this year with the owners having to shake it up to, it's just a part of business. Every big business goes through it, but You know, we like for the, you know, to keep it out of the public, but sometimes it happens. But I know as a coach now, I'm gonna be glad to hug me a player so we can get back to work.
A lot of the players now have kind of started getting together and doing workouts on their own, and I know the coaches can't be there.
Right.
So, I mean, when you look at that, Deshae, is that something that as a defensive back coach, that you want your guys out there doing some work?
Yeah, you do. You know, it doesn't have to be me telling you to get in cover 2 against this, but it's also good for that defensive back to be going one-on-one with the receiver, trying to perfect his craft, working on his footwork, working on his hand placement, things like that. And they don't need a coach there to do that, you know. But the most important part is not that. It's just being around your teammate. You know, that's the most important thing about when you're going into that, you know, like we say, that foxhole, which I want to know you. You know, I want to know if you really got my back. And the only way you can do it is being around each other. And as long as those guys are doing that, doing those team building things, and that's the most important part. And it'll carry over until we all get together.
I want to steal something from Fred. You spent 13 years in the league. Fred's a fantasy nut.
Commissioner.
Fantasy football.
Commissioner.
Yeah, he's a commissioner.
Right, say that. I'm a commissioner.
As a player that's out on the field, I know you have to hear about it. You know, fans say stuff to you. Do a lot of the players realize how many people actually play fantasy football? And I know they don't really care.
Right.
But is it a lot to put up with?
I will say that fantasy football is kind of messing up the game a little bit. Because I have seen, like, me and Hines Ward, we came in together. We were roommates for 12 years. And, you know, when we go on the road, they don't really care. Like, some fans don't care if you win as long as he goes out and produces.
Right.
They don't care if you lost 21-0. They just come up to him, great game. You got me. You got 3 touchdowns and 7 catches. You know? So it's kind of messing up the game because they don't really truly care about the final score now. They just want their player or their defense to produce. So
I kind of got to give him some slack. I'm a commissioner on the baseball side.
Okay.
and I'm a Kansas City Royals fan. So we don't do a whole lot of winning.
Right.
So I get now to where I follow players more than my team, and I'm doing the same thing. You know, the Royals lost 6-0 last night, but my guy went 2 for 3.
So you're happy.
You know,
So now if you're at a bar and somebody was feeling bad, you would be smiling even though they lost. So it's messing up the game.
But I talked to a former Major League player, and he said that he got so tired of hearing people holler at him, just get a hit. I need 1 hit. You know, I just need 1 hit. Man. I don't care if you win or lose, give me that 1 hit. So, but I know as a player that was on the field all the time, and fans can be rough, I'm sure. So especially when you go to a visiting town, how bad were they getting on you?
You know, I love when we would go to Oakland or we would go to Cleveland. They would always say, if you have family coming to the game, tell them to not wear a Steeler, any type of Steeler
paraphernalia, right?
Anything. So you know that's all. When you hear them say that, they kind of let you know the environment you're going into.
So was Cleveland the worst place that you had to go?
Cleveland is no, but. No, I don't want to. Well, I'm done now. So I say we used to blow them out, so it really wasn't that bad. So after the 3rd quarter, it'd be just all Steelers fans. But Oakland was neat when I finally got a chance to play out there to see that their fans, they meant business. You could kind of tell. Baltimore was always tough. But you know, that's just a part. All NFL stadiums want their team to win, and it's good to be in that environment. And our goal was on the road was always fun because we wanted to make that away crowd be quiet.
Yeah, well, let's kind of shift gears a little bit. Well, we talked a little earlier about some of the things you do during the off season, but you go back now quite a few years over in Batesville, and you have a camp for kids.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it kind of started just as a football camp. You know, I've always been taught to, you know, one of the most important things is to give back to others. And, you know, it started as a football camp in 1999. And as of 4 years ago, we added a health fair to it. My mom passed of breast cancer in 1999. So, and one thing that was placed upon my heart was to create awareness about your health. You know, of course, Mississippi is probably the first state in obesity. So one of our main problems is how we eat, you know, and getting treated. Because we all know we only went to the doctor when we really were sick. You know, we weren't taught to do preventative measures. So I wanted kids to have the opportunity to know that it's important to take care of your health. So we have a health fair that gives them free diabetes check, glaucoma, vision, dental. So we had smoke-free tobacco there. So we try to give them any type of information they could to know about their health and just to start to create that awareness about how important it is to take care of it at an early age.
So when is the camp?
The camp was May. It's always the third weekend in May. This year it fell on May 21st. We've been doing it for 12 years, and I've been blessed now to I do one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and also do one in Orlando, Florida. So we're trying to make sure we can get to, if we can get to all 50 states, you can imagine the type of kids that we can reach and we can help.
And I'm really impressed with you coming back to give something back to your community, because a lot of times you see athletes. They reside. I mean, they come from a place and they go and make their resident at a place where they playing football, and they give back to that community, and the kids where they grew up go lacking. And I really appreciate you adding the other component to it, because my agency, we operate a Family First Resource Center in Panola County, and we have some services that are free, that are provided to the community, and to have the opportunity to use football as a carrot to get people out. And then you come out and you bring your kids, and they get a chance to meet some athletes and play the game and learn the game. And at the same time, you can walk around and take advantage of a lot of services that are free in your community that you may not even be aware of.
And that's the main reason we did it. We knew that we had an audience. You know, we had over 1,200 participants in the health fair and the football camp. This past year, I had 500 boys and 200 girls because I have a cheerleading camp with at the same time. So we're able to create the audience, and now we just have to create the awareness. And we've been fortunate and blessed to really make this thing grow, and it's getting bigger and bigger. I have a foundation called the Pay It Forward Foundation. We're doing some great things in the community, but we have a lot of great support also. And that's the main thing about it. There's a lot of people out here that care about one another, and it's just a way for us to give back. I got the name Pay It Forward from the movie, because if I reach back and help you and you do the same thing, we can reach the whole world. And that's my goal.
This guy's not like the athlete that you hear about. Man. This guy's something else right here.
You say the camp free?
Camp is free. The camp is free.
And that's great.
I couldn't go home and charge. You know, I wouldn't do that anyway. But my thing is, we have so many talented kids. I want them to not only know that you can play football, but there's so many other things that you can do. And the more awareness and the more people that we can bring back to show them that, you know, you could be a 5'9", 165-pound quarterback coming out of South Panola, out of Batesville, Mississippi, and you can compete with guys from Los Angeles, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida. Let you know that just because where you're from doesn't mean where you're going to end up at.
And you can get two of those.
Two of these.
Fred, I think we outdid ourselves this week. And the Sports Roundup, man, we're going on the road. We want to go on the road.
All right.
So, you know, Phoenix would be awesome.
And, you know, Tuesday, that's the players' day off. And, you know, we could get us a good show in. You know, maybe that's still a game. You know, Pittsburgh is coming to Arizona this year.
I'm already hitting him up now for tickets, man. I'm telling you. You know, but hey, we appreciate you. And not only is just a football player, but as a class human being, man. You know, I say it all the time. I got a 3.5-year-old son, and this would be the kind of guy that I would love my kid to play for.
And then you can see why he's doing things in the community in South Panola for free. I mean, when we called him and asked him would he come on our show, I mean, he was excited about it. I mean, this little show, and we just only little right now, but we're gonna grow. But to have this type of guy with us on our show, and he's excited about being here, it's really an attest to his character. We respect
I'm gonna give him a plug. Fixing to open a gym in
Open the gym. It's called Deshae Townsend Fitness Academy. It's 24 hours. We have saunas, showers. We have a speed and agility side for the kids to train, so it's going to be a nice little outfit.
I might have to run my old boy over here.
He giving you a plug for it, but look at us. Are we gonna join his gym?
You got to.
We're going to drive by. That might be it.
Hey, you know, if anything, you know, this is, well, just in case you have a couple of things that you need to sweat out, we have a sauna where you can come sit in the sauna and enjoy it, you know, so, you know, it's not just the
thing we can do.
The least you can do. The least you can do.
We're definitely going to try to make a road trip out to Arizona.
Thank you.
And, you know, we talked about coming out and doing a Diamondbacks game, and now we've got a reason to come out and do a Cardinals game.
Especially in the spring. If we could do it in the spring, because they have a big Cactus League where they have, all the teams out there. And that's a real
I
big
think we got
event.
a good
That's
host
fun.
now.
Oh man, anytime you want me back, you know, I love, you know, the bad thing, y'all got a great host to be here because I had a radio show in Pittsburgh. I like doing this type of stuff. So anytime you guys want me back,
we may try to give you a call.
That'll be good.
And we'll talk about the NFL during the season.
That'll be good.